Victoria Alice Jones stormed through the dense woods, her heart pounding in her chest. Tears streamed down her face as she replayed the heated argument with her mother over and over in her mind. The sound of the slamming door and her mother's calls for her still rang in the distance. Tears streamed down her face, mixing with the sweat that trickled down her temples. The towering trees seemed to close in on her, casting eerie shadows. The frustration and anger consumed her, making it difficult to think clearly as she went deeper and deeper into the forest that surrounded her home. God damn it, God damn it, God damn it, God damn it, God damn it. She screamed into her mind over and over again, each step taking her farther than she had ever been even before her father. She cut the thought off, finally stopping to catch her breath and think. She just needed to escape, to find solace somewhere far away from the turmoil of her life. How could she do that? And with him of all people? She slammed her fist against the tree, drawing a small amount of blood. It hasn't even been 2 months since... Unable to say the words, Alice continued to hit the tree. The adrenaline started to wear off. Shit! She cursed, holding her wounded hand. She looked up, taking in her surroundings truly for the first time. In her rush to flee from her mother, she had gotten lost. She remembered being in these woods many times with her father. They had always felt like a safe haven, but now they seemed to taunt her. Each tree appeared as a horrible, deformed face, laughing at her. "Victoria, where are you? Please, I just want to talk." Alice heard her mother's voice cut through the forest like a knife. The adrenaline began to flow through her again. All the anger, betrayal, and sadness came surging back up. All she wanted to do in that moment was run as fast and far away as she could. She took a single step, then stopped trying to breathe and calm herself. "Okay, Alice, just count to 3, like the therapist said. 1, 2, 3. Her thoughts were cut off. A sharp crack of a branch behind her destroyed any sense of calm. Alice tore off running again, fear gripping her heart. The sound of her father's black combat boots slamming on the ground matched the beat of her heart. She continued to sprint through the dense forest. Her mind raced just as fast as her pounding heart. Thoughts collided and mingled, creating a whirlwind of emotions within her. The fear that had initially gripped her heart now drove her deeper in the forest. She sprinted and caught a flash of something white as snow in the corner of her eye. She slowed down. It was a white rabbit. The sight of the rabbit triggered a memory from her childhood. The story of Alice in Wonderland. The tale had always fascinated her, with its whimsical characters and magical adventures. It was also her father's favourite tale. It was almost as if he were guiding her. Could this be a sign? She wondered aloud, latching onto the illusion, her voice barely audible over the sound of her own rapid breathing. The rabbit, seemingly unperturbed by the chaos surrounding them, hopped along gracefully, its innocence and purity contrasting with the darkness that enveloped Alice's surroundings. At that moment, a strange curiosity overtook her, and she decided to follow the rabbit. Maybe a little adventure will help me forget about all this drama. Right, Dad? She remembered all the adventures she had with her father before his passing. From building a treehouse to falling the small stream all the way to where it met the river. The rabbit led Alice deeper into the woods, deeper than what should have been possible. She pushed the thoughts aside along with branches and ducked under low-hanging vines, determined to catch up with the elusive creature. Alice's eyes caught sight of the small, white rabbit darting through the underbrush. The rabbit stopped at a large bush looking unlike any of the plant life around it and looked back at her. The small rabbit stared at her for a second, as if waiting for her to catch up before jumping into the bush. Without pausing, she dived into it after the rabbit. After pushing through to the other side, she stood up feeling as if the very air was different here. She looked around but was unable to find the rabbit. As she continued to look for it, her mind flashed back to her childhood, to the countless nights spent curled up in her father's arms, listening to him read the enchanting tale of Alice in Wonderland. The memories flooded her thoughts, bringing a sense of comfort amidst the turmoil. With each stride, she could feel a small amount of hope return. She smiled at the warmth of all those nights coming back to her, cutting through the cold night. She pulled her blue hoodie closer. A light purple glow seemed to be coming from a small distance ahead of her. Alice began to slowly run again, excitement building in her heart. By the time she stepped into the clearing, the light had almost completely gone out. She looked around, but the clearing was empty, except for one single tree that seemed out of place. Alice cautiously approached the tree, her curiosity long ago outweighing her sense of caution. Now closer, she realized the glow was coming from the tree itself. The tree seemed to be almost as wide as she was tall. Unlike the rest of the trees around the clearing, this one had no leaves. She stopped at the base of it, running her hand down it. It's hard to see in this light, but it feels like there is something carved into it. Alice moved closer, trying to make out any of the symbols, but it seemed as if they were moving any time she tried to get a good look at them. Lost in the fantasy, she tried to study the intricate carvings on the lone oak tree. She wished the symbols etched into its ancient trunk would come alive, whispering secrets of forgotten worlds and hidden realms. Bah! I wish I had brought a heavy coat with me, Alice wished, as the cold wind cut through her, pulling her back into reality. What are you doing, Alice? She spoke to no one. She sat at the base of the old tree. You managed to get yourself lost, chasing some dumbass rabbit in the damn cold. And even that you still lost. The wind picked up as if to prove her point. She flipped her hood up, the cat ears on top flopping to the side. The wind only grew stronger, as if urging her to pay attention. As she reached down to zip up her hoodie, her fingers trembling in the cold, she saw it. There, nestled between her legs, sat a white rabbit, pure as snow. Its fur glistened in the pale moonlight, and its eyes held a mysterious glimmer. Time seemed to stand still as she held her breath, not wanting to scare off this enchanting creature. Heart pounding with a mix of excitement and curiosity, she cautiously extended her hand towards the rabbit. It didn't flinch or scurry away like she had half expected. Instead, it looked up at her with its innocent, soulful eyes. The wind howled around them, swirling leaves and twigs in a mesmerizing dance. The rabbit hopped out from between her legs, leading her around the tree. The rabbit vanished, leaving Alice standing before a swirling portal that seemed to beckon her forward. Her heart pounded in her chest as she gazed at the mysterious gateway. A mixture of fear and excitement coursed through her veins. It felt like the rabbit had led her here for a reason, offering a chance to change her life. Just as Alice was about to take a step forward, her mother's voice echoed in the distance. Victoria, where are you? Please, I just want to talk. Alice winced in pain at the use of her full name, a name she so despised. She took a deep breath, knowing her choice was made. With determination in her eyes, she crossed the threshold of the portal, its strange colors filling her vision as her senses slowly began to fade. As As Alice entered the portal, a powerful force seized hold of her body, pulling her into the unknown. The sensation was disorienting, like being caught in a whirlwind of vibrant hues and shifting shapes. The air crackled with an electric energy, sending delightful shivers down her spine. Moments later, she landed with a thud onto a soft surface, her surroundings completely foreign. As Alice took in her surroundings, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. The vibrant colours and enchanting melodies seemed to transport her to a world beyond her wildest dreams. The air hummed with an otherworldly melody, filling her ears with a symphony of enchantment. Alice blinked, trying to adjust her eyes to the new environment. She found herself in the middle of a clearing, surrounded by towering trees that seemed to reach towards the heavens. The trunks were adorned with glowing flowers, their petals emitting a soft, ethereal light that illuminated the clearing. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, swirling around her like a gentle breeze. She could feel the presence of magic all around her, a tingling sensation that danced on her skin. The air in the mystical realm was thick with an otherworldly energy, crackling and swirling around Alice like a gentle breeze. It sent shivers down her spine as she could feel the presence of magic permeating the very air she breathed. A tingling sensation danced on her skin, as if the unseen forces were whispering secrets only she could hear. Lost in the enchantment of her surroundings, Alice suddenly jolted back to reality when she realized she was sitting on someone. Startled, she quickly scrambled off the person she had unintentionally landed on, her heart racing with embarrassment. As she extended a hand to help the person up, she couldn't help but notice the peculiar outfit he was wearing. The boy was dressed in a dark grey school uniform, but it was no ordinary uniform. Across the front, there was a strange sigil etched onto the fabric, its intricate design. Before Alice could fully comprehend its significance, the boy spoke up, breaking the silence that had settled between them. "Who the hell just falls out of the sky onto someone?" he asked, his voice carrying a mix of annoyance and curiosity. Running a hand through his tousled chestnut brown hair, he revealed a youthful face that exuded warmth and kindness. His hazel eyes sparkled with a glimmer of curiosity, reflecting his insatiable thirst for knowledge. Soft, gentle features were accentuated by a smattering of freckles across his nose, adding a touch of whimsy to his overall appearance. Standing before her with a slender build and a height slightly taller than her own, Alice couldn't help but feel a sense of intrigue. "Well," he spoke again. "Maybe she's mute," spoke a female voice. And just then Alice realized there were two others standing nearby. The woman closest to her had long, flowing emerald green hair that cascaded down her back. Her vibrant green eyes seemed to be almost dissecting every inch of her, and she was wearing the same uniform. "Maybe you broke her when she landed on that hard-ass head of yours," another voice added, much deeper than the first. Alice turned to face the new speaker. This one was in sharp contrast to the other two, who looked like they were out of a fantasy novel. This one would have looked like the poster boy for a punk band if it wasn't for the same school uniform the others wore. He had neon green hair shaved on one side and many piercings on his ears. He reached up and patted the dirt off of her. Alice took note of the two spiked bracelets he wore. "You okay?" he asked, as he took off his uniform jacket and put it over her shoulders. Unlike the others, it was covered in clearly homemade patches. Finally, Alice snapped out of it and back to her senses. Her eyes stared at the ground as she started to speak. "Oh, I'm so sorry. Her apology was cut off by a gasp from the woman in green. Alice looked up quickly to see the looks of shock and surprise across their faces. The punk got real close to her, grabbing her shoulders, almost bursting with excitement. "You're a human!" he exclaimed with a large fanged grin. Oh no. Like and follow for the next part of Bloodbound. Chronicles of the Wiccan Isles. This is my first story and a work in progress.